Load shedding has visited me and my house, so we can now receive the guests. All right, cool. D Prince, welcome. Tebza, welcome. Nikita, I see you out there. So load shedding has actually visited me and my house. What I'm trying to say is we're having our 2-hour blackout. So in case maybe the load shedding does, eish, Tebza, that's exactly what I'm trying to talk about. To be like, eish, this load shedding. And today I want us to talk about the vital life force, that is the ESCOM that animates our bodies. So, gosh, Batun dumela, hi Nikita, dumela luena, nompumele, welcome. But what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to see how far, because I know that they say the first 15 to 30 minutes gives us a bit of a buffer. So that's a period that we can play around with. And I'm hoping by that time, without me going there and there, I can compress and bring everything forward to you guys, because what I'm postulating today is the vital life force that is not working properly wreaks havoc in your body, in your soul, in your spirit. Each and every single spectrum of your life will be impacted, because remember, the vital life force, it's a coal that you burn. Yesterday we were speaking about the emotions. That emotions are like the coal that you burn to sustain your body. So if the coal that you're burning is of inferior quality, and we all know what's inferior when it comes to us, we all know that negativity is inferior. Inferior not in the sense of it being bad, but it's something that is not it's not empowering, if you want to call it like that. We all know the disempowering habits that we normally get ourselves into. So that's what I'm talking about. Auxilia, I see you right there. You clap it. Hey, you be that. Criselda, I can see you out there. So unfortunately on my side, we're having a bit of a load shedding. So I'm going to try to speak about, for the first 15 to 20 minutes, I was telling the people that we normally get a bit of a buffer. So if it still allows me, I'll go on and on. But what I will do is, like any other episodes that we've done in the past, in case maybe you've missed it, I try to collate all of them. It's just now quite recently I haven't actually put anything new on YouTube, because, you know, with this retreat that is upcoming, Auxilia. So can somebody please tell me if it's on, so that I can start breaking down the vital life force, because I want us to start from the nadis, the energy parts that we have in ourselves. We're going to go to the meridians, we're going to go to the chakras, we're going to talk about the energy channels, we're going to talk about possibly what is it that can clock up the energy channels. And by the way, it's not only food that can actually clock your system. It's also about your thoughts. It's also about your underlying perception towards the world. Believe it or not, we have people that believe or that know that the world is punishing them. On the other hand, we have people that know that the world is happening for them. That, it might sound very simple, but I have to tell you that matters a lot, particularly when it comes to intel and environment. So is my network okay? Because Haisalag is stuck. Angie low. Oh, network. Let me try to do this. Good. Now, I'm going to talk about the energy channels that courses through your body and my body. It's very unfortunate that in the West, this is the modern civilization that we're living in, these things are not really spoken about, or they're not really getting taught a lot. The reason being, we are a type of society that believes that if something goes wrong in our bodies, we only have to deal with the symptoms. We are the type of people that obviously go with the big pharma kind of type of way. If you're having a headache, pop an aspirin. If you're having cancer, take chemo. If you're having this, take that. But what you don't understand is there's only so much of a physical body that you can deal with. Because you have to understand that with the energy that is coursing through us, when it animates itself, it tends to show itself out in the body. If the energy that you're harboring in your internal environment, it's conducive, it's healthy, it's balanced, it's resonating, it's abiding, your body will also be healthy, natural, abiding, alkaline, they call it base. Everything of yours will be singing in synchronicity. That is, all the elements that are internally are in a working condition. But now, unfortunately, in the West, we're dealing up with symptomatic things. We don't understand the way how the energy works. The bestest place for us to gain a little bit of an understanding about the energy work, we're going to have to go to the East. And the Eastern philosophy, unfortunately, this is the studies that have been shunned against. I don't know why. Because, I mean, if you look at the likes of Nikola Tesla, this guy back in the days, even before we even started talking about this, this guy postulated, or he said something, or he was quoted saying, if the scientists was to study the world through the lenses of the energy, vibrations, and frequencies, they will make so much beautiful advancements. But now it's unfortunate that this talks of the energies and stuff have been relegated to the people that are into meditation, the people that are into the yoga, the people that are into the spirituality. And we all know the names that we give to those people. We're like, there you go with your chakra. The best or the least that we have and the worst is the chakras. Even still, we have that. It's still not properly being understood. I mean, some people think that chakras are things that you can fix with a pill. People think that chakras are things that you can fix with taking up medication. But what we don't understand is chakras don't necessarily listen to your words. Just like the way how your subconscious mind works. Your subconscious mind, which is your habitual mind, doesn't listen to words. It listens to intentions. It listens to a repetition. In actual fact, it listens to the energy that courses through you and I. Now, today's talk is all about the vital life force. Some people call this energy prana, that is in the East. When you study Sanskrit, you get told that you have the prana. The prana, what does it mean? Prana, it's a breath. Prana, it's a spirit. Prana, it's something that you cannot see. But you better believe it, that even if you can't see it, if the breath was to leave your lungs, we all know what's going to happen. So now you have this prana. Some people call it the chi. Some people call it the ka. Who's this? Let's see, Patricia. Mr. Mwekezi. So now here I am. I'm running against the time. So if you guys are here, if the network is fine, if the audio is all right, if the visuals are okay, I have a buffer of roundabout up until like 30 minutes, around about like 2:30. So if you guys can hear me out there, if you're here for the first time, the way how we work here is we basing the whole traction on the algorithm. So if you hear, if you got some love to show, you can do that by double tapping the screen. That is, toggling up the screen here with the likes. The comment section is open. If you got something to say, or if you got something to ask, or if you just want to say hi, please do that. If you hear, you like what we're talking about, you feel like you want to hear more of this, please take note that every weekday at 2 o'clock I'm always live. And if maybe perhaps you skip it or you miss it because of the load shedding or any other reasons, don't dismay. I normally take some of the recordings and I put them on YouTube. How do you access the YouTube? You access the YouTube by going to my Nikito. I was wondering if I'm all by myself here. And Nikita just actually toggled up the giftings. That's exactly what you can do as well if You got the knack for it. And if you got some question which might not be particularly regarding what we're talking about, I mean, like for the last couple of days, we've been honing on this thing of emotions. At some point, we're gonna have to purify our emotions, because emotion, it's energy in motion. If you have not so good energy coursing through your body, the results are not going to be so good. If you're having good emotions, that is, if you're having good energy in motion in your body, you obviously going to get beautiful things in your outer experience. So I'm hoping, when I'm speaking like this, I'm hoping that people are aware that we are energetical beings. And all by, all by yourself. All by yourself. So, I don't know, Mr. Muikitina, did your comment come a little bit later on? Because the network is giving me a bit of issues, but if you were talking about what I just said or the experience that I was talking about earlier on, you can just let me know. But today we're talking about the vital life force. So I'm going to be borrowing a lot from the Eastern philosophy. I'm going to be borrowing a lot from the spiritual texts. I'm going to be borrowing a lot from quantum physics, because I can't speak about energy without speaking about quantum physics. But before we get to that, let me just give you some of the numbers or some of the energy channels. In our bodies, we have the nadis. What's a nadi? A nadi, it's an energy channel. It is alleged, I think the bestest place that I can pick it up from, it's from the religious context. Let me take it from the Bible. It said that in the beginning, a man was molded. When I say a man, I'm also talking about women. A man was molded, but the breath of life was put into them. So now when that breath of life was put into them, obviously, it had to traverse through the body. It doesn't do that all by itself. It does that through the energy channels. A lot of us, we know the chakras. Yeah, they there. Some people will tell you we have 7. Some people will say we have 13. Some people will say we'll have 112. Some people will say we have 140. All those people are right, because it depends on the level of study of where are you. Because not today I'm talking about the energy. And please, mind you, whatever that I'm talking about, it's not an absolute correctness. It's my truth. It's my story. It's my experience. What the ancient Egyptian used to call mysteries. Mystery is my story. It's nothing taboo. And when people talk about mystery, people will be like, ooh, there they go. All by yourself. Nikita came through and you thought, Tate Moegetsi, ke re nna ke a bona o tsebe ka mo ke mathana le pere ya load shedding ka hii. And hands ke bua, sometimes, I'm lagging and I'm going up and down. But what I'm doing is, I'm speaking nonetheless, even if I don't see anything happening, in a sense of I'm going to be taking some of these recordings, like I said, we're going to be putting them on YouTube. Now I'm going to be dropping up some of the few things, especially when it comes to the nadis. Before we get to the nadis, I just want to talk about a little bit of discussion that was heard during the quantum physics conceptualization. You will know most quantum physics. Who's this guy that has been credited as the father of quantum physics? Max Planck. Max Planck, at some point, he was buddies with Albert Einstein. And at some point, Nikola Tesla had something to say about that. If you're wondering what is it that I'm talking about, today we're talking about the vital life force, the energy that animates you and I. That thing that beats your lungs, that thing that flows your blood, that thing that makes sure that your heart is in a working condition, that thing is the vital life force. Some people call it involuntary systems. Some people call it unconscious mind. Some people call it your subconscious mind. Some medical doctors or medical practitioners will call it a parasympathetic system. This is a system that is responsible for rest and digest. It's a repairing system. Without this system, your ass is going to be out of here, or it will be out of here. Because you know, when you pass on, us as Africans, we will normally say, urisile. What is left? The body is still there, but something is left. Meaning that which is left is a vital life force. Now, if you want to know how is it that it engages with our bodies, we're going to have to use some scientific terms, you know. Because particularly when it comes to these, he normally likes me to talk about things using Sotho. I can only but imagine what is it that I'm going to call the vital life force in Sotho, except if I was to call it moya. So moya onana it's an energy that is called the prana. It's called the chi. It's called the vital life force. However, when it has to go through the channels. Channels that people that are very well accustomed to, particularly when it comes to the worst chakras. A whole lot amount of story before it gets. One of the things when this energy goes through, back to this argument that we had with the people that had with the quantum physics. Yeah, I'm speaking as if like I was there, but who was there? Quantum physics postulates that before something becomes matter, before something can be tangible, it has to be a wave. There has to be a thought. But not in the Christian context, not in the religious context, but in terms of being pure. Because you have to understand that you are tasked in taking care of that faculty, not to control it, taking care of it. The reason why I'm saying control it, you'll hear it will get as we're going further, because I know that there's a lot of people that when they're having negativity in their lives, they believe in pushing the negativity away. Don't do that. Who does that? I mean, like when it comes to negative emotions, I mean, I know some people will say, when I have negative emotions, I have to speak them away. You don't do that, because whatever that you resist, you persist. It's like now when you're feeling negative in the morning, you're sitting there, you're doing your affirmations, you say, I'm not negative, I'm not negative, I'm not negative. When you go to the thermodynamics, energy flows or energy goes where attention goes. You might say that you don't want to be negative, but because you're speaking about negativity, energy flows where your awareness goes. So whatever that you try to push back, you are actually persisting in your life. But back, let's talk about the quantum physics. So quantum physics says, for something to be matter, for something to be gross, it has to exist in a non-gross realms. For me to have this shirt on, somebody thought about it. Thought, the idea, the inspiration represents the wave. The shed represents the object, represents the matter. But for the shed to be what it is, somebody had to think about it. So now those thoughts, those waves, that is the energy that courses through you. Have you ever heard in the self-help industry when people tell you that your thoughts are creators, your thoughts are energies, your thought patterns affect your whole being? You know why? Because each and everything that you process depends whether will a good quality or for bad quality. And now if thoughts are energy, if you burning negative energy, your body, which is what is being animated by the life or the vital life force, your body is going to take in a bit of a knock. That's law of attraction. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting it. So luxury, sorry, I'm getting a bit excited there, getting high on my own supply because I'm trying to explain this thing and you came and you just put it up in a nice word. That's what I love about the comment section. Now, in a scientific fraternity, particularly when it comes to the metaphysical science, that is the non-physical beings, don't we have ways of taking care of our vital life force? I ask, you see, with you guys, when I open up the comments, it's like now you're reading up my whole thing because that's exactly what I was going to get to. Because the acts of, for an example, meditation, for an example, act of love, being in connection with nature, getting enough sun exposure, getting enough sleep, feeding your spiritual being. That is obviously, most the Bible says the man shall not live by the bread alone, but the man shall live by the words that emanating from the voice from the mouth of God. So basically all that means is it's an allegorical story that says to you, when you feed yourself, it's not only your body that needs to eat, your vital life force as well needs to be attended to. And your vital life force, unfortunately, cannot find full expression if the internal environment it's not of a good quality. If you having a hormonal toxicity inside of you, your vital life force cannot be fully expressed. And guess what's next? Your body takes a knock because the vital life force that cannot find full expression, the energy that cannot fully or properly course through you, if it has blockages, your body, it's going to be symptomatic. You will have headache there, you'll have insomnia there, you'll have addiction there, you'll have compulsiveness there, you'll have anger outbursts there. Those are the results of the unbalanced, out of harmony energies. Now let me get to the quantum physics quickly. So if you're here for the first time, follow the brother. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. For the people that also wanna be part of the WhatsApp group, you can do that. How do you do it? You follow me. That is, if you haven't already, you go to my bio. My bio will have my numbers. But if you are regular here, you know the drill. You follow you like the page, you keep the comments running if you want to share it as well. But unfortunately, because of the time, I'm not going to be able to go on. What I think I'm going to need to do is I'm going to relegate this thing to the 6 p.m. Episode because I want to break this thing to a point whereby I can show you that even with the food that you eat, they have a certain type of energy. The food that you eat has the yin and the yang. The food that you eat has the masculinity and the femininity. Same with your emotions. If you're thinking things that are of a low quality, there's certain energy that you're actually causing or overly causing through your body. So you're going to have to change these things. I mean, this is what you're asking Auxilia as to how do you clean or how do you replenish or revitalize yourself. So in the quantum physics sphere, or in the scientific fraternity, there are talks that the energy that causes us, or the energy that causes through you and I, it's not faster than the speed of light. This is why you get quotes like, or words that were uttered by Nikola Tesla. He said, this vital life force, or this chi, or moya ono o halalelang, as it comes from the primordial being, or from that undifferentiated energy, or when you go to African religion, or if you go to the Kemite or the Cushites or the Mesopotamians, or when you go to the Nubians, or no matter how far you want to go, you get told that you have this energy that is faster than the speed of light. You have this energy, some people call it intuition. It's an energy that does not use words. But unfortunately, it is said that when it hits our body, Tesla said it becomes retarded Hertzian waves. What does that mean? What animates you and I, when it hits us, it breaks down. When it breaks down, it becomes electromagnetic. You probably have heard of the yin and the yang. You've probably heard of Cain and Abel. You've probably heard of the land of duality. You've probably heard of, I'm speaking about these things because I saw you guys speaking about them in a WhatsApp group. So if it's for the first time you're hearing this and you're like, oh, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the energy world, and it can go deep very quickly. So I'm going to try to put it on a very surface level, talk about it from the scientific point of view. Because the moment when you speak about it in the sense of it being the Ida, the Pingala, the Nadis, the Shushumna, people tend to lose you right there. That's why when we speak about the chakras, they are being called the energy centers. But in actual fact, they're not really that. Because the language as well is very clumsy. Words are a very clumsy way of talking. If it were me, or if it was according to me, we will not even need to talk using the verbal anecdotes. All that we could do is connect using the cosmic Wi-Fi. Because believe it or not, you and I, we're so connected, it's not even funny. I mean, I can even go in as far as saying, thank you, Nikita, I can see you with the gifts. I can even go as far as saying that I'm using your ears, I'm using your eyes, I'm using your body, you using my mouth, you using my brain, because the energy that animates you and I, it's one. Africans call it unkulunkulu, katlamacholo, ramasedi, ramoloki, senesa rara. When you take it deep into the East, when you want to go to the Chinese or when you want to go to the Tao, Confucianism or whatever that you want to call it, it is said there, especially when you read the book Tao Te Ching. I think I shared it in a group one day. Tao Te Ching, it says, if you can name it, you negate it. So me trying to explain this force that animates you and I, it's not only a waste of time, but I think I'm standing to be accused of doing what, back in the days, they used to call it blasphemy, because I'm speaking about something that cannot be spoken of. That's a reason I normally say to you guys, when you listen to whatever that people are saying, particularly when they're speaking about these kind of type of teachings, they're sharing from their mystery, from their my story, from their personal experience. Your job is do the work. I mean, we spoke at length about dopamine at some stage. We spoke about endocrine system at some stage. We spoke about emotional intelligence at some stage. We spoke about neuroscience at some stage. The whole reason, that is, if you didn't get what we were doing, we were talking about means and ways on how you can use to deal with this energy. Because this energy affects you psychologically. That is on your mind realm. It affects you on your body realm. It also affects your soul. It affects your spirit. So you're going to have tools on how to traverse. Because the Bible, after all, says the kingdom of God is within. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you. Even the Bible goes on, it says, study and show thyself approved. That's why I normally tell you that if you're listening to me, don't be thinking, yeah, there he has it. I'm just sharing it from my side. That's why I normally drop off the books, the hints. Like we're having the retreat now on the 25th and the 26th of March. We're going to be doing a whole lot amount of the prana, dealing with the prana, that is the breath. Why do you think when you meditate, they say to you, focus on the breath? Think. Because the breath, it's a vital life force. But when it plays in your body, it plays electro and it plays magnetically. You got the masculine, then you got the feminine. You got the yin, then you got the yang. You got the left hand brain, you got the right hand brain. You got your endocrine system, which is your hormones, then you got your emotions, you got your body, you got your energy, so on and so forth. Because you need to know yourself. African axiom used to go, it still goes today. Man know thyself. Once you're done with that, I mean, you can traverse the world. You can do whatever that you want to do. But it doesn't mean that you have full dominion. Because in as much as you are doing with your conscious mind, you are being done with an unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, that parasympathetic realm, that metaphysical realm. And as to how you're going to travel it, that's your own business. Now, back to this that we're talking about. So, it is alleged that this vital life force, when it hits us, or when it animates us, or when it was breathed inside of us, it ceased to be androgynous, hermaphrodite. You will know that the air that you and I breathe, can you tell if it's male? The air that you breathe, can you tell that it's female? You don't even bother asking those questions because it's irrelevant. All that you know is this breath keeps you alive. But did you know that the vital life force that animates you and me, it's electromagnetic? It has feminine energies and it has masculine energies. You've probably heard of the yin and you've heard of the yang. And if you guys are here, you got no idea what is it that we're talking about, please make sure that you hurry up to join up the WhatsApp group, because there are some of the materials that we're sharing in there that will aid you in managing. And by the way, if you observe the procession of the equinoxes and the solstices, you will know that we are in a period of Aquarian age. One of the things that happens in this age is we are experiencing what we call the tectonic energy shifts. You might be sitting there, you're thinking that you're asking yourself existentialism questions. Why am I here? What's my purpose? Why am I depressed? What is it that I came to do on this earth? Those things are not only existentialism questions, but those are energy questions. Because the quality of the energy that courses through your body can either make or break your life. People that are prone to boiling or burning negative energies, they are prone to diseases, modern diseases. People that are gravitating towards healing, towards love, towards joy, towards compassion, towards earthing, towards meditation, towards yoga, these are the people that are better predisposed on how to handle the energy that courses through their lives. Yeah, I know about the depression, I know about the thoughts, I know about the debit orders, I know about the schools, I know about the rent, I know about the high purchases. Today here, we're talking about something that is way subtler more than what we normally deal with. So this is that knowledge that they call esoteric knowledge instead of the exoteric knowledge. So, okay. Question, how can one restore the point of equilibrium that... Hey, Mr. Wiggins, that one, eh? That one there. We'll talk about it. I like that question because it brings it to the practicality part of it, which is something that we need to do. That is why I normally get, at loggerheads with a lot of people to say, what's the use of me understanding the quantum physics or me understanding the chakras if I cannot be able to put it on my day-to-day use? Because for me, it might as well be something that I just read and I shelve it and it gathers dust. So you'll know here, one of the things that we strive to do on the channel is, once we get out of here, or each and every single couple of minutes that we spend, we might leave here empowered to say, okay, fine. If I think about anger, I release stress hormones in my body. So what do I do to make sure that this anger does not harm me? You let the energy flow. How do you let the energy flow? By not focusing on anger. You know that simple thing that they talk about on positive, what do they call it? The positive junkies, they'll tell you, become positive, be positive, be positive. That thing saves your life. But I'm not there. Back to the quantum physics quickly. So when this energy comes from the undifferentiated energy, when it hits your body, that induction that it makes, that it's called electromagnetic induction. Now, this energy, it now separates. It's no longer hermaphrodite. It's no longer androgynous. It now has to take the masculine or it has to take the feminine energy. Some people will say vital life force, it's the same as electromagnetic self. They're not. They might be used interchangeably, but they're not. Because later on, I remember Nikola Tesla was heard or was quoted saying, if you have enough energy balanced, or if your internal harmony is good, you start generating what is called scalar waves. Scalar waves are the waves that are faster than the speed of light. Have you ever heard somebody saying that they're getting the downloads? Or yourself, Nje, have you ever heard something that gets placed in your spirit, but you got no idea where it comes from? Normally when people say that, don't laugh at them. Don't think they're crazy. These are the people that are more connected to the cosmic library. At some point, I did a video on YouTube. Hanekibuaka Khatsela. Khatsela, some people might not know that it's the claustrum fluid. It's the fluid that you get from your mother's milk. Well, that's a different story, because for you to be able to get cosmic access, or for you to be able to get well attuned to your intuition, you're going to have to clean yourself of things that don't belong in your body. Why do you think all the time, wherever way you go, if you want to take a spiritual journey, people will tell you, watch what you eat? As if like that's not enough, watch your thoughts. As if like that is not enough, watch your emotional states. Why? Because if you are not watching those things, it disturbs the energy that flows through your body. Because remember, at some point here we spoke about the genes. I think we did it for around about like 2 weeks. It's just that those videos I haven't put on YouTube. What you have to understand is your genes are not only fixed genes that make you have brown eyes, dark skin, tall, short, wide-bodied, curvaceous, whatever. Those are fixed genes. Your genes as well have the capacity of storing non-physical information, ancestral information, cosmic information. This obviously it's not going to make sense to anybody that is not into cosmology. The fabric of existence. What brought you and I here? Well, if you're more interested in five senses, this obviously is going to sound palatable to you. You'll be like, no, we don't know what you're talking about. But the time is now, especially when you're observing the procession of the equinoxes, it's high time that we start actually handling our energies. And how do you do that? You need to study and show thyself approved. But by the way, the book that you need to study, it's not the book that is sitting in front of you right now. The YouTube that you need to watch, it's not the YouTube that you're checking out right now. The TikTok that you need to tune into, it's not this one that you're on right now. The YouTube that you need to check out, it's yourself. The book that you need to study and read, it's yourself. The content that you think you need to master out there, no, it's not out there, it's within yourself, because your genes have reservoirs of memory, data, information that needs to be worked on. Where do you think your ability to ride a bicycle gets written? I mean, like some of you now, you probably know how to ride the bicycle, but you haven't ridden in 15, 20 years. But the next, if you were to get the bicycle, you're going to ride it nice and smoothly. Where do you think that has been stored? In your genes. So if you have to study yourself, you need to go deep inside of yourself. One of the things that is very funny about the genes is, you've probably ever heard of the story that was made famous by Francis Crick and Watson, where they discovered the double helix. They was given the Nobel Prize, I think it was back in the 1950s. The father of the genes, obviously, they call him George Mendel. There's a story that goes on there that says, there's such a thing, or there's something that is called the junk DNA. For the people that have been on this journey, or the people that have been studying, or people that have been trying to know themselves, I want to just give you a bit of a side bar information here quickly. There is no such a thing as a junk DNA. The so-called junk DNA, it's the DNA that cannot be made sense of. It's the DNA that has not been coded. Because you'll know, you and I, given our genome structure, we can only be able to code 2% of the DNA. They say it. If maybe perhaps you don't understand what is it that we're talking about, please let me know so that I can slow down. And if you want to be part of the WhatsApp group, let me know. Or if you're in a WhatsApp group, let us know what is it that you're reading, particularly when it comes to the vital life force, when it comes to the chi. Now, let me just get quickly. Oh, no, the network is still working with me. Woo woo! Me like it. Right. I know I touched there, I touched there, I touched there. There's so much that I have to say when it comes to this energy part, because unfortunately a lot of words that we use have a lot of baggage. And this lot of baggage tends to drive a whole lot amount of things out of context. So if you hear me touching there, it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't want to talk about it, but because of the time and because of the streamlining of the topic. But because we pay so little attention to ours, we miss out a lot. After being induced, it chooses. Oh, it does. Okay, this is what happens then, Dadumwigiti. Matlana how wotla, moyona how wotla. It now splits. It becomes masculine and it becomes feminine. Now, in the Eastern philosophy, particularly if you were to go to the Sanskrit, you will know that we have the energy channels that are called nadis. We have almost 72,000 nadis. This is when this energy hits your body. It traverses through you through tubes. Some of it, it's a work of the lymphatic system, but when it travels through you during using the tubes, those tubes are called the nadis. You've probably heard or seen somebody doing an acupuncture. You know, they'll take a needle, they'll put a needle there, they'll put a needle there, they'll put a needle there, they'll put a needle there. Those needles are not just being put there haphazardly. They are put there strategically because the people in the East, they still understand that if you want to heal a body, you have to heal the energy body as well. You can't just heal a physical body. If you heal a physical body, you leave the energy body, the trouble is still going to come. But now this is where the big pharma coins it. Because there's a quote with a big pharma that says, a cured patient is lost business. And it's not conspiracy, by the way, Banabes. It's a story the way how it works. So now we have 72,000 nadis. Now these 72,000 nadis, they get to course through your body. But now when it courses through your body, it doesn't just course like you have the side that accommodates the femininity part of it. Then you have the side that accommodates the masculine part of it. Now, when you go to the East, these things are called the Ida and the Pingala. This is the negative and the positive polarity, the masculine and the feminine polarity. This energy, as it courses through you, it does so through the electrical magnetic modes. So now, out of these nadis, 72 nadis, it goes a little bit down as it traverses through your journey. It traverses through your body. It also now forms what we call meridians. Meridians as well are your energy centers. A normal body has run about like 12 main meridians. They play somehow, somewhere on your body. Don't worry about that. I sent a book, I think earlier on today that talks exactly about that. Now, this energy as it comes or as it courses through you, yin, it's a feminine energy. Yang, it's a masculine energy. Ida, it's a negative, it's a feminine energy. Pingala, it's a masculine energy. So I'm dropping up these names right here just to show you that We will make so much of a progress if we were to start dealing with our issues from the energy perspective. I know I didn't do much to this topic.